It was really nice going back to the Isle of Man. I hadn't been there for a while, hadn't played there for a while. And it was nice to catch up with old friends on the island and do a bit of reminiscing from when I was a kid growing up there, meeting up with lots of people that I grew up with and hung around with on the island, and I managed to get to play with some old friends of mine as well. And I played with China Crisis at the festival, which was a fantastic night. It was really well received, it was packed out, and it was a really good little festival. Great. So we're out on the south of the island at the minute. This is a place called Cregnish, a really old village with all the thatched houses and everything. That's down that way. And then if you look that way behind me, that's a separate little island called the Calf of Man, which is like a wildlife sanctuary now. And that's a stunning little place you can cross to as well. As you can see it there in the background, it's lovely. I think island life in general is different to living on the mainland. It's a lot more laid back. It's, you know, everything that had its own pace in the Isle of Man, like any island, I suppose. It definitely influenced me growing up. I think growing up on the island, it was different than growing up here. It was a much safer place to be. I was 11 years old when I started playing guitar. there was always guitars lying around the house, as I think I said in one of the earlier episodes. So it was fantastic to, I just got a feel for it, and you know, with all the guitars that were lying around, my dad and my brother's guitars, and I just felt I had some kind of connection with it really. I loved it, and going back to the island with China Crisis and meeting up with old friends and stuff, and going back with a big name band, it was quite an emotional thing really. It was good. I had great support from all my old friends and teachers and stuff, and it was fantastic. It was really good. Right, we're here in the Isle of Man on our last day. We're travelling back today, and we've got with us my old teacher, Stuart Lambie, and my cousin Gary, and I think they're going to spill the beans on me. So I'll just hide under the table for a while. What do you remember, Stu?
What do I remember?
I've forgotten it all.
You first came into my class when you were 9.
Yeah.
And one of the things I do remember is that in the morning sessions, we finish at 12 o'clock, and the kids would go and have their school meals. Yeah. And you went home for lunch. Yeah. Somewhere. Anyway, when all the kids dispersed to go and have their meals, you used to come up to my desk when everybody had gone, and we'd just chat about music, and you know.
Yeah.
And it was a strange conversation to have with a 9-year-old. Colin would be saying things like, have you heard the latest Led Zeppelin? You know, all this sort of stuff. And I mean, that was a tick on me. It was lovely. And we talked about guitarists and so on. And I've got a feeling that somebody used to come to my house occasionally and try and teach me a little bit. And I would get my cheap guitar out and I would say to you, right, you told me how to do such and such, you know. But you had the basic chords from home, hadn't you?
Yeah, because my dad and my brother played.
That's right. So you were on the way. And I can't remember, I used to do a guitar club, but I can't remember whether I did it before you came or whether it was actually as a result of you being so keen that I thought, right, I've got to try and nurture this, you know. Anyway, you used to say to me, come and see David's guitar, or come and see what I've got, you know. So I went to the house a couple of times.
Yeah.
You came to my house.
Yeah.
And I showed you the LPs that I had in those, and anyway, we at school we got the guitar club going, and you and well, definitely Ian Bradley.
Yeah, definitely Ian. Yeah.
I don't know whether there were many others at that stage,
Not
but
that I
you
remember.
two were the only ones who could manage a few chords to put together at that time. And I remember Mrs. Larkman,
Yeah.
Angie Larkman,
Yeah.
did the recording.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
So we thought, why don't we join up, and we became the guitar and recording group.
Right, yeah.
That's a good name, wasn't it? And so you and Ian accompanied the recorders.
That's right. Yeah.
And then we got, got dragged into the Guild,
That's right.
you know, which is a big festival on
Yeah.
there. Arthur Taggart, the head at the time, said, you must go in the Guild with this group. And we said, no. Anyway, we went in, and we went into a class that was for under 18s.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
I remember bits.
We
of it.
went into the Villa Marina, and we were in the wrong class. There wasn't a class for primary school children. So we went into this, we went on the stage, I say we, children went on the stage, and there was you could hear this general, you know. So they were all,
I never heard an arse
they were
about
all-
Colin.
yeah.
You never will again.
At 10 or 11 years of age, he got one. And I mean, it went down well, but actually after that, Arthur pressed the Guild committee
Yeah.
to have a class for primary school children, and from then on, we entered.
See, so we changed the course of history.
You did, so there's a legacy there
Yeah.
somewhere, isn't there? Yeah.
We've had a lot of talent in the family, really. My brother, as I say, he owned a lot of music venues around the northwest and cocktail bars, really cool places where all the hip kids hang out, you know. And we managed to get there on the way, didn't we? Had a few cocktails, which was great. But he's also a fantastic songwriter, singer, guitarist. He's had a couple of albums, working with really good people over the years, players and session players, and I had the joy of playing on those as well. And my cousins are all great at what they do in their own field, you know, they're all top of their game. My cousin Gary was a Commonwealth cyclist. He worked with people like Mark Cavendish years ago on the island, and he trained a lot of the young up and coming cyclists on the island. There's quite a big, you know, a big portfolio of good sportsmen on the island, and Gary was involved with a lot of that. And my dad was a rally car engineer. He built the iconic minis for the Monte Carlo rally winners and stuff, and yeah, we've had quite a lot of talent in the family really over the years, and really, you know, really proud of them. It's a little place on the south of the island going out towards the airport. It's a little stretch of road that all cars and bikes pass through every day, and it's called the Ferry Bridge, and it's Manx tradition to say hello to the ferries as you go through, as you pass the sign. Otherwise they say bad things will happen if you don't. There's been stories, I don't know whether they're probably wives' tales if you like, but of people not saying hello to the ferries, not greeting them, and then breaking down, you know, a quarter of a mile down the road, or having a puncture, or so it's tradition now to greet the ferries when you go through. And when you go down there, lots of people, the Manx people love the tradition, and as do the tourists on the island. They always head out there to visit the Glen, where people leave post-it notes all over the trees for the ferries. It's quite iconic on the island. A lot of people think we're bonkers, but it's good to have a bit of tradition. Yeah, the long-awaited album was supposed to be finished last year, actually. A friend of mine, Jason Brooks, has got a studio up in Leeds called Beach Street, which is a cracking studio. And he said, I kindly said I could use the studio to record the album. And I didn't quite get there last year with so much work on and stuff, with Toya and China's and this and that. So I'm going to make an effort to get it finished this year and get up there and record. I've got some great friends coming up to play on the album with me. People like Errol Rollins, great drummer, said he would help me out. and lots of people, you know, and I'm going to try and get the album. I don't want to stick to one genre of music really. I want to try and get it, all the influences I've had over the years, and it'll be a bit of a mashup if you like, but try and get all my influences on the album. Hopefully I'll get my brother involved to help me do some writing, because he's a great lyricist, I'm terrible. So thanks, Dave. and yeah, and just see how it goes really. We'll just bat ideas around and see how it works and bring different players in for different songs, and hopefully the end result should be pretty good. What's my favourite song? That's a tricky one. I think if I had to choose one song, it would probably be Walk Between the Raindrops, or no, it wouldn't. That's not the track I'm thinking of at all. The Goodbye Look is my favourite song, I think, which is a Donald Fagen track off his Nightfly album. And I just love the way the song moves. It's incredible, the musicianship on the album, the production, the lyrics in the album, everything about it. I think the whole song is just complete. It sounds stunning, and you just have to have a listen to it really to see what I mean. Hopefully you'll get it, but I think if I was stranded on a desert island with one song, that would be the one I'd take, definitely.
Well, now that he's left the room, all I can say is thank God he's going, because I can't hack a rock and roll lifestyle till that time of the morning and all the socialising that Colin does. So, but it's from my point of view, and from certainly my family's point of view, we're so proud of everything Colin's achieved, and his brother Dave. Tend to go to as many gigs as we possibly can. He's such a fantastic inspiration, and our family is certainly proud of him, and I think all Manx musicians are proud of everything Colin's done.
Absolutely, yeah.